Hello, people of the internet. My name is Clara, and if you are here, you have access to the ink path. If you are new, I hope you stay and have fun because this is a little bit weird, quirky video that I want you to enjoy, and I hope you actually have fun with it and decided to join and replicate my book tag because we are going to do a book tag. So if you like this video, remember to comment down below or give me a like or even subscribe. And if you are new, if you actually follow me for a while, I'm really happy to have you again in my channel. So what I'm going to do today, we are going to do the First Date book tag, and this is going to be amazing. The First Date book tag was a book tag that I saw on, I think it's Kat from The Little Book O. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly because I always have problem with mispronunciation people's name, and I know that it's not hers particularly. I think it's from Kate's Book Dates. I think the original creator of this tag is name in YouTube, but I will link everyone down below. If I mess up with the names, you will have a proper tag somewhere saying oops. But yes, this tag is very interesting because you have situations that you actually can find in dates, in actually proper dates, and we have to match it with a real book that gives you that kind of experience. So let's go. Question of the tag is actually the awkward first date, the date that didn't feel like fluent at all. So pick a book that you didn't connect with, that something actually was not well between the book and you, and it doesn't have to be a bad book per se. It can be a good book, but for some reason it didn't resonate with you, it didn't match. And for me, that's The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I know that a lot of people adore this book, and I was very convinced that I would love it. And there are bits where I almost feel it, but I think that August and Hazel were not actually my perfect date characters, and I didn't enjoy the book at the end. The next question of the tag is the cheap date. A date that you went, you survived through it, but you were expecting more, that leave you a little bit disappointed. And to me, it's not disappointment what I feel, but to me, a book that I was expecting more of, and to me that's Fangirl. I know, another tricky kind of weird and of course unpopular choice, but Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, I again had a lot of expectations with it, and I thought it was going to be amazing because I was living on my own in a actual dorm, so I could relate with the main character Kat in the real life experience. But then I don't know if it was because it was contemporary or if I missed something out of the book, but I didn't like it. So Fangirl is my cheap date. Next question is the well-prepared date. In this case, a book that has overcome or exceed your own expectations, that you like more than you expected to like. And I'm going to go with The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. I adore that book. I had kind of the gist of the plot, more or less, but I remember reading it and feeling in love with the prose, feeling in love with the characters, with the descriptions. It was like I almost lived in Pinnacle Lane. I love it, and if you don't know it, you definitely should read it because it's pure gold with feathers. The next question is Hot but Damp Date. A book that is actually really nice on the outside, but it was actually made for you on the inside. That you loved the cover, but the actual plot or whatever it was inside of the book didn't convince you. To me, and this is going to be another controversial opinion, it's the Selection series. I started the Selection series because I loved kind of royal romances and things like that. To me, the Selection series had an amazing cover design, an amazing premise, something that was really appealing to me at first glance, but the inside of the story, the actual novel itself, was kind of nah. The Blind Date, a book that you went into without knowing much about it, and to me this option is of course Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is my favorite book of last year and it's still one of my favorite, but I will tell you why Vicious is actually my blind date. I've seen tons and tons and tons of reviews of people that I really trust over here on YouTube, on BookTube, about it. So it wasn't actually blind per se, but all of them tell me the same information without exception. I didn't know exactly how was going to work throughout the whole story or the layers that it actually has, and I adore it. I was intention the whole read, the whole experience, but I really love this story. The next question is Speed Dating, a book that you read in one sitting in a really short period of time. I read this book, I think it was in 2 days, and I adore it. It's 84 Charing Cross Road by Helen Hanif, I think she was called. This is a non-fiction book that tells the story of the writer of the novel who established a kind of friendship with the people working in a old-fashioned bookstore in London, in this exactly address that I mentioned in the title, and it's how she develops this friendship with one of the workers of this bookshop and the rest of the members of the bookshop. It's a collection of actual letters that later on became a book, and then it has its own adaptations in cinema and also in theatre. And I have to say that I am not a huge fan of non-fiction stories, but this novel, if you like literature, this novel is actually for you. The next kind of date is The Rebound, a book that you read after a huge book hangover, and this ruined the book for you. To me, this is going to be a controversial pick again, because I'm going to say Divergent by Veronica Roth. I finished the Hunger Games trilogy, and then I decided to pick up Divergent because everybody said, like, if you like the Hunger Games, you will love Divergent. And it was okay, but then it was too similar. So I wasn't ready for this story. The next question of the tag is The Overly Enthusiastic Date, a book that did too much, that had too much effort on it, that it was disappointing in the end, that it was too much. So to me, I would say Evermore by, I think it's called, I'm going to cheat here, Evermore by Alison Noel, which is the first volume, or the first tome in the Immortal series. The premise was good, the beginning was very intriguing, and then this is the kind of book where you join all the cliches, you mix all the cliches instead of picking a couple of them or three, and they ruin the book. Actually, this mix at least ruined the book for me, and I didn't continue with the series at all. The next kind of date is the perfect date. The book that had everything you wanted in the quantity you wanted and in the perfect prose, in the perfect time. The book was perfect in the end. And I had a lot of picks for this one, but it wouldn't be fair to choose, for example, Harry Potter as much as I like it, when I have so many books, and in particular one that speak to me or spoke to me when I read it in so many levels, and that's The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss came to me as a recommendation of a relative, and I didn't know what it was about at all, and it grabbed me by the hand and took me to a new fantasy place. I didn't know it existed. The characters were very well driven, very diverse face, kind of facets, very kind of grey, morally grey characters. The plot was well driven, slow when it needed to be slow, action packed where it needed to be action packed, very well explained and detailed, and I love it. I think it's the perfect book, so it's my perfect date. And the final question is actually the humiliating date. A book that you're a little bit embarrassed or very embarrassed to say that you read or that you even enjoy it. And for me, that's 50 Shades of Grey. I only read the first volume, although I have the trilogy and I want to finish it. And I feel embarrassed because I know that it has some very, very disturbing concepts and situations in it, and I don't agree with those. But I read it for fun in a summer kind of read, and then people started to they started to have a really passionate debate, which is great, and I really support that people actually talk about things that consider disturbing and negative and things that shouldn't be in the publishing industry. But the idea of having read something like that without even supporting the main mindset behind the book, just for fun, whenever I spoke about it, it was as if I was signified or if I was supporting violence in a couple, which I am not supporting at all. And I felt like every time someone mentioned the book or the story and I said something like that, people look at me weirdly. Well, this is it. This is the ending of First Date Booktag, and as always, now it's my turn to tag someone. I'm going to tag Sam from Thoughts on Dogs because that's my tradition, and I really love her tag and the way she approaches the tags, and I want to know her choices. But also I tag Bix from Bilingual Bookworm because we have a very special bond, and I know that she always picks interesting different books. Let's see what you can do with this, Bix. This is it. And of course, if you want to do it, you viewer over there, if you want to join this crazy tag and select me your picks for book dates, let me know. And if you actually do the tag, please comment in the section down below and give me the link to your video because I really want to see it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope I can see you next time. Of course, I leave all my details down below, and I leave the details of the people who created the tag and who actually I saw the tag originally. I leave all these people links down below. Good night.